And we're back with another episode of Danay Garcia Podcast. This time, I have with me my dear friend Mo Collins. Mo is, how can I describe Mo? Well, I'm going to start saying that Mo is a Fear the Walking Dead sister. I met her in the apocalypse the first time. And the first time I remember it was season 4, right?
Yes.
Season 4, like episode what, 8, 9?
Episode 8.
Yeah, you came like right when things were about to crash.
10. Or maybe it was 410. I did the last 6. So
yeah, so it's something around that. And you know, she became watching you, Mo. Join. I always find it really interesting when actors come and they just join the apocalypse. It's it's not like a normal start in any way. And a lot of their personalities come out because it's like a lot to handle at the same time. They usually have a lot of words, like 17 hours a day, and we're covering crap.
Yeah.
And it's not the natural thing. And the way you handle our first, chunk of time was with so much grace and solidarity and friendship and like we are in this together. And he said, I remember thinking, I'm like, wow, she's such a badass. Like, because some people, like, they shy away, they're very focused, with every right, but you thrive on togetherness. You thrive on that. That's your comfort zone. That is your place to create and to grow. And I am also a Cancer myself. Like, so I kind of like, it really got my attention, that side of you that was embracing even the walkers, even the people
Well, I mean, what a great, it's all a playground, right? That we pretend in this reality, and it's super fun to pretend. I've always liked pretend and buying into it all. But you also speak to, one of my favorite things ever is ensemble, and it's not just even the cast ensemble. To me, it's everybody that's on the crew. It's your day.
It's your day.
Embracing everybody in the day, because I'm not there sitting on the couch with them watching the TV show,
yes.
Right? But
totally.
I have my day. Like, that's my experience, and it's also their experience, and I want that day to be great for everybody.
It's so true, and it feels like you live your entire life like that. Like, as I got to know Mo, my friends, I always felt, Mo, and I told you this before, that you are this kind of artist that really has made art a lifestyle, in a way to create, to grow. If you're lost, that's your way back into yourself. If you are, searching. It's weird because every time I will see your work, you'll be like, oh, last night I fixed my wall. And it's like yours, it's like your thing. Like, living in Austin, your little place here, it's like a canvas that's what you were saying. Like,
it is. My home became a new canvas.
Yeah. And you are that kind of like artist that it doesn't just act. It's just like art is your lifestyle. And and I want to share something with everybody. This is like what's like to have Mo as a friend. So I invite Mo to my place, and, I bought her flowers, but she bought me this.
Oh, yes.
Yes. I mean, and in the back.
Inspired painting.
Yes, this is, and I was like, what is this? And she's like, well, that's how I see you. I see you with flowers, and it says Danay forever in bloom. And
true.
It's like, it's just the most beautiful things. And that's what's like having you as a friend. You just bring a little piece of your art, of what you see in colors. And I told you how grateful I am. I have it in my office. I see every day. But I never actually got to tell you that. And I felt like this is a perfect time to share.
That's sweet, Danay. Thanks.
Of course. I wanted to surprise you.
I love that. That's good to see it again. I really enjoyed painting it. I really did. Like it's so fun to, because, this is the thing. I used to shy away from or be embarrassed or I don't know, I felt weird things about giving my art away. Like, I don't know.
Really? Are you
And yet
serious?
I changed my thinking on that
Of
because
course.
to me, it's, the time that I spent considering you. I think it's a really big deal in life to consider other people. Like sit in them and consider them. And so that's what happens when I'm painting for somebody. I consider that person, how I feel about them,
Oh,
how they
it's
come across
beautiful.
to me. And so, and it was really cool as I really started to see you emerge in that. It was like, oh, hi, Danay.
Hi. I
Hi is in
absolutely
my house.
I
But yeah,
loved it.
I love I love doing art for people, and giving it away, a lot now. Like it's
Thank
because
you.
I know the value of it. I guess I've changed my idea about the value of art as a gift. You know,
It's gorgeous. It's the best. I mean, I felt like, oh, here are some flowers, and you're like, here's your portrait. I was like, oh god, I think I should have done an origami or something.
no,
It was the
no, and
best.
that's the thing. I don't want people to feel like they're not reciprocating on some
Oh,
same level. It's not. This is just something that I love to do, and so I also like to give to
share
people
it.
that I love.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Mo, when do you discover this? That art is a way to express yourself, like because it's really like a lifestyle. Like those are the presents you give. That's how you decorate your house. Like how do you
yeah.
discover that to be your way to escape your mantra, your
Oh
aura?
goodness, there's been so many stages where that question gets answered in my life. I mean, I discovered that I was a little bitty artist when I was about 4, and
Wow.
I was very much into it. And I had an aunt who is an artist, so I saw it as a real thing. You know what I mean? It's like you can be an artist. Um, and then I became an actor, and sort of it was like, well, you can't be both. Which one are
Really?
you? Well, we go through that like in my 20s, and it's like, well,
Oh
which one are
yes.
you? What are you going to be? And thankfully, somewhere along the way, I went, well, you're both of these. You're all of these things. Here's what it is. You are an artist, Mo. That is who you are. That is how you walk each day. Walk
Yes.
each day as an artist. You don't have to be on set to be that artist. I can be
Mm-mm.
walking down the street. My artistry is in how I engage with strangers on the street. My artistry is everything that I am. And that's a gift to myself too, And
Yes.
as far as, like you say, about um, using it sort of as a tool, as a survival thing, it's it gets me out of my head and out of the dark places,
Hmm.
that I go. It's always done that. And when I do get really, really in depth with my painting, I'll spend some time. I go through these months where I'm spending, 4 hours in the studio, 5 hours, and just keep going back in. And
Wow.
just, I obsess about it no matter where I am. I'm still thinking about that painting. And so I can't think about the bad things.
Oh, little
Like,
things that annoys you, right?
yeah, yeah. Like it's just my focus goes right to what's going on in the canvas and what's happening with the brush and the paint and the color and all of that. And so like particularly when I first was diagnosed with cancer and went through all that stuff, I was spending a lot of time in the studio because I didn't think about it, that what was happening, it didn't have to consume me,
Wow.
and I was able to put energy onto the canvas and express it, because I also didn't know how to express a lot of what was going on, because obviously it's very new and shocking. And but
Yeah.
it really became a tool for my health and
Wow.
my mental health too. But I think I just think it serves me. It's always served me that way.
When people, like, especially during the pandemic, like everybody's at home and everybody's like, what am I going to do? Like, we're not used to spending so much time and what to do with that energy, because it creates, the lives that we're living it's very anxious. Like it's
Yeah.
natural. Like our mental health is really on the line of like either breaking or like in a shock, and
I
because
feel
our
like
lives have
everybody has
changed.
a level of PTSD right now.
Absolutely.
Undiagnosed. Do you know what I mean? But everybody talks about this sort of pain of something. To me, I really think that we have PTSD.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm laughing, but
Yeah,
because you
like
just nailed it.
I think it's clinical. I do. And why wouldn't it be? We spent 2 years going through a shocking event, which is life and death.
It is
life and death.
absolutely.
And so, yeah, we have PTSD, but we don't, everybody doesn't have a doctor saying you got PTSD. But
oh, yes.
I'm here to tell you got PTSD. We're all PTSD.
We're PTSD walking around. And
yes, true.
What can you tell someone that is going through all this? Like, we've lost someone, somebody's is passed that we love or close to, also further. Like with all these emotions, how can you start painting, or how do you, because it feels very like scary, like what am I going to paint? Like I'm really bad at painting. Like it's like you have a judge behind you telling you, oh, you can't do that. Like how do you break that ice? Like you were one of the lucky
you look
ones
in the mirror and you go, my only competition is myself, and then get over yourself, and just you're not going to start and be the artist that you think in your brain. You're just going to be the artist that you are. That's it, in that moment. And you know what's awesome about art is ultimately there are no judges.
Yes.
It's the gorgeous thing about art is it's really about the process. It's so about the process. Put on some inspiring music, get a canvas out, or it doesn't even have to be a canvas. Find a piece of wood, get some paint, get some colorful pencils, get crayons that might be lying around your house, get crayons. And just, even if you're scribbling, write out words with color. But start. Just start and be in the process of it, and go back to being a child. Like allow yourself that.
We need that.
Just take all the adult judgments off of it and go back and just be your little kid. Be your little self, your sweet little self. Alone with all your thoughts. Think about simple things. Think about complex things. Doodle, color it in. Like there's going to be something after you do that. There will be something in your hand after that. And you go, I did that. And I felt good doing it. I hate it, but I did it.
Like you're not going to love everything, right?
Oh, no, you're not. Like I'm looking at, I can see over my computer something that I started scribbling last night, and it's not good. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, because that was what I did last night, and it felt good doing it, and I'll fix it later.
But nobody's going to know about it. Like it's there. It's not like you have to show the world everything.
It's just for you. You don't have to do an art show.
It's true.
You don't even have to, you can tear it up afterwards. Again, art is about the journey, the process.
I love that. And it's so true. It is so true in every level. Everybody thinks always of the end product. Like even before you even start something, you're already right away thinking like everybody's going to love it. And that's right away a judgment, even to the process.
It is, yeah. And that's where you have to be fearless in it too, is to just, to not judge yourself sometimes is having to be fearless, right? Like we're so good at judging ourselves that we have to find bravery to not judge ourselves and to just let ourselves be. You're good enough. We're good. Just be good.
Yes. And actually, if you start opening because I feel like art, it's like a water, right? You put it in a bottle, it turns like a bottle. You put it like it's everything you want it to be. Like
Yes,
you
it
just
is.
have to allow to like, put that creativity, whatever it needs to be,
It's
right?
objective and it's subjective, right? Like
Yes.
yeah, there's some stuff that people love and another person will hate that thing, think it's not art. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's
It doesn't
yours.
matter. It
And
matters what it matters to you, or if it doesn't matter to you. But again, it's the process,
yes.
So just, it is a good outlet, even if it's just scribbling. Remember when you were like a kid in school and doodling on your folders
Oh, yeah,
and
of
stuff like
course.
that?
It's a natural thing to kind of put it out there. Like
Why did
art.
we stop?
Why do we stop? So true.
Yeah.
And Mo, do you feel like this kind of outlet that you have helps you as an actor? Since you were do you feel like the imagination, do you think that everything is connected?
Well, I certainly try and connect myself to everything because, yeah, I do believe in some way everything is connected, but I think it's up to the individual to recognize that connection and to
Okay.
act on that connection. That is, in fact, how we connect, to be willing to and to recognize when connection is happening and to be open to it. That's how it works. But yeah, as far as acting goes, I just think it's so cool to connect. And I know you know this, Danay. I've stared down your eyes in these scenes and I've seen your connection, girl. Oh my
Thanks.
God, you all. I wish everybody listening or watching to this could see the connection that this beautiful Danay has to Luciana. Like you feel it. You feel her fire just standing next to her, being committed to her character. And that is such a privilege.
It is.
Like you make it so much easier for me to get excited and to do that. And I feel good about it because then I'm like, oh, good. Somebody wants to play as hard as I want to.
Of course.
Right? Like,
yes.
Do you remember, Danay, when you were a little kid? I don't know if this happened to you, but you'd get playing with your little friends. And I remember being not upset, but a little upset that when there was somebody that wouldn't be so totally 100% into it.
Oh my gosh. Absolutely. I was very demanding.
Getting into this. Oh my gosh, this is great play. Like,
absolutely.
Get into it.
Yes.
So it's, I guess that's what I was saying. Like the privilege of being in a scene with you is you are the kid that's just, you're so ready to play and be 1000% into the role play of it all, of making it real.
Yes. Be present.
Yes, it's so fun.
At the moment and laugh. And I remember, Mo, do you remember that day that the entire tank town exploded and it was extremely cold? And we rushed to the truck in the scene and you enter the truck from one side, I enter the truck. The moment we opened the door and they said cut, we were like, it's cold.
I know.
We just started blasting laughing too.
We did, but that's the other beauty of it. Like that, let's not kid ourselves, was a miserable day. Miserable. That was not.
I want to have those miserable days with you, Mo.
You got to have the right people with you in those days of misery. Because if you ain't laughing when that is happening, you are on your knees, buckled and crying.
Oh yes. There's no middle ground there.
That was rough. That literally was about surviving.
I mean, we've been through so much cold now that I think of it. And towards the end of last season, we and this was a moment that I will never forget. When you're struggling, like you are like so in the moment, so present, acting and just really being there because you're not just alone. You have everybody. Like if you're cold, hundreds of people are cold too. Yeah. But the difference is that only the actors, we have very little clothes.
Time to take off the jackets.
We had no jackets on.
No.
And I had you next to me. And when they say action, my entire body started shaking. And you were right next to me. And I think you saw me, but I was just so focused, but I didn't notice my body was shaking with cold. And all you did was touch my arm very slowly, like as Sarah and Mo, and just to have some body temperature. And I would never forget that, because when you touched me, I noticed that I was shaking. And then it kind of like, oh, I was shaking. You made me realize that. And that is, those are the days that when you have those moments with a scene partner, or like a colleague or a friend, or even a stranger that can see that is there. It just changes everything. At that moment, I just feel so much gratitude. Like, oh, for a second, I feel better. And I didn't notice that I was like this. Like, I was literally shaking. I didn't know that. So thank you. I never told you this. I mean, by the way, in the podcast, I just say all kinds of stuff that I think of, like collaboration.
I remember that moment. I remember that moment. I think what I did is I just adjusted it so like my arm was touching your arm to give you heat. But, here's the thing, Danay, and this is just, I don't know. I find life works best this way. I was freezing my balls off too. Like, I was miserable, but then I look and I see you, and empathy. I could step outside of myself and go, what can I do for her? But here's the thing, it ends up good for me too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's just
it. It must feel good.
When we reach out and do something good for somebody else, you take note of how it's good for you too. Because, I did that for you, and most likely it warmed me too.
Yeah. And I will never forget that second. It really was a second, because we kept going at it and again and again. And I remember my body was losing its own temperature. Like, I remember, I'm like, I'm not from this environment. This is not my habitat. I kept saying, I need ocean and heat. And like, what is happening? And I remember that second, and I felt so much better. And we were still in the cold, but and this is and it's funny, like this kind of conversations and podcasts, and it just really, it's a mirror to like what's happening today. I was shivering because it was cold, but somebody's shivering because it's painful, because it's lonely, because it's hard.
Yeah.
And a little touch, a little phone call, a little text, a little something, it would not make that person just feel good, but you feel good, right?
Yes. Yeah. That's how it works. It goes back to the other thing we were talking about, connection. It's recognizing those moments too when they do happen. Make it more of a habit.
It's a lifestyle again.
Yeah.
It's a way to kind of register the world that you're living.
Yeah.
And we've been tested about that with this pandemic.
Oh, we have been tested. Really been tested.
I mean, and it's not done. It's not over. I mean, we're still like, we're like you said, PTSD. Like, now we're like, we are like in this phase of aftershock, but we don't know what just happened or where we're going.
I don't know how to go out in the world anymore. It's like, I recently was back in LA, and I had to put gas in my car.
Oh gosh. Great.
And I didn't know how to do it. Yeah. I kept moving around from pump to pump, and I found it just ridiculous. And I went into the person, I'm like, I can't get the pump working. The pump isn't working. And I'm like, and then I go out and I realize I just hadn't put it in far enough. Like, that's all. But I don't know how to be back out in the world yet.
Yes.
I admit, like, it's because I really, really isolated. I really, especially prior to vaccine, I was terrified.
It is terrifying.
I was terrified. I have a compromised immune system, and I was terrified. So I really, I was not out there, and I'm still not really out there.
Yes. We are not.
No.
None of us are.
So now it's not necessarily by rote. like riding a bike, as they say. It's taken me a second to ride the bike.
To do the first pedaling. Like,
I know. It's like, wait. Oh, I don't have shoes on. Like,
oh wait, I'm like holding the brakes and I'm trying to pedal.
Spent the last 2 years without shoes on. Let me get shoes on before I start pedaling. Like, let me get out of my sweatpants.
Yes.
There's just stuff that we have to. Well, first, I think it's important. We really have to be forgiving of ourselves in our kind of re-emerging into the world. We have to be delicate with ourselves and with others. Be forgiving, because this is going to take a minute. It just is. And take a minute to just feel comfortable with each other in the same room and all of that stuff. It's going to be, we'll get there. And I just really hope we get there better than we were before because of everything we've been through.
Yeah, and that's exactly my point. Like, we've been tested to exercise the empathy part of us, because it exists in all of us. There's no culture that tells you not to be empathetic. Like, that doesn't work. Like, for us to survive, we have to look to the side and see, how can I strengthen the people around me so we can move forward? Tribes were like that. Like, that's how it works. We're not lonely people. We thrive, like Humo, in groups. Like,
We do. It's, we are a society.
We are a society.
That's just it. We are a society, whether you like it or not. And there's things we do. There's sort of unspoken rules about how to exist in a society.
Totally.
And it really does society means we're extending ourselves to others. I think that's what makes a great society. True. When we extend ourselves, because again, it comes back to you when you do, right? And then you are a happy, functioning, full society member.
Yes.
But it's being proactive as a good society member.
It's true. You know, what's interesting is in the pandemic, I started doing these karaoke and chats, and I would literally sing, and I just sing in English and Spanish.
You're so joyful. I can't even calculate how much joy you brought to people with that. Like, that's an immeasurable thing.
But to myself, I remember the last episode we shot was this freezing episode that, tank top that exploded. And then we went on lockdown. So we went from one extreme to another. And I remember just after every one of those lives, and then it translated to this podcast. And, I'm normally a person that, reaches out to people, but I'm not like you would never find me like in parties and all that. I'm a very home person, but this podcast has allowed me to connect with people that I adore, that I care about, and I can show their superpowers to the world. And I can learn from it. So it's not just, everything is, when you make the first step, I mean, it's just like, am I going to do this? Yes. It's not just for you. What I get out of it is just beautiful, like talking to you. When I would talk to Karen, I love Karen. I missed her so much. I can't wait to see her. And, just learning from experiences that we naturally don't talk about it on set because we are busy. And, it's like, it's a lot going on.
It gets interrupted. So you don't want to get into it just because,
Exactly. And I'm so grateful for moments like this, and that the fact that we also get to share it with the world, because I really feel so privileged to be surrounded by very special people, people that I work with, right?
Oh my gosh, I can't believe the people that I know and can call friend.
Yes.
Like they are my friend. And I'm
of course.
I like that, because that says a lot about me then.
It's a reflection. It's a reflection of who you are and what you project.
To keep, right?
Yeah, and what you project. And that's another thing that, the pandemic has allowed me, is to really look deeper into the people around me, because there's no way I could go out and meet somebody in a subway or, like that is shut down. So you just, what have you been, who are your peers, who's been around you, and release the ones that you don't need, but nurtures the one that you don't.
Yes, yes,
And
yes.
that's been a lot of my pandemic time. And doing a podcast, I just wanted to enlighten my dear friends that I adore, actors, no
Yeah.
actors, doctors, anybody that I just, or people that I meet along the way. I'm like, hey, I think that this is a worth conversation.
Right.
So
Yeah,
it goes a long way, right?
it does. And I think I feel anyway, like over the past couple of years, life got a little bit more focused on what's more valuable in our lives. And that
Yes.
includes, people you start to see, like who are the people that um, are enriching your life,
Yes.
who actually see the word friend as a verb,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it just sort of just got more focused. And so I've been trying to do more intentional acts of friendship too, like going back to the 1990s and actually calling people on the phone,
Yes.
just out of the blue. Because why not?
Why not?
And having great conversations and just really connecting and not just, seeing what they've, liking a post or, just
Go deeper.
making friendship that verb again, because I know the value it is for me when people do the same to me. So, yeah, I'm just sort of reevaluating. It's like, oh, wow, okay. I think I really know who my friends are now.
Good. It's a great, it's a real fun time to, if you look at it that way, obviously,
Yeah.
everything is about perspective. If you look at it in a way to like just look back and really reassess, just undust everything that has been like in the bookshelf, and just like
Yeah.
everybody's a book, and you just want to revisit that.
That's a
That's
great way of putting it. Yeah.
yeah, because they're there. It's just
They
that you
are.
just have
Blow the
to
dust off your friends. Give them a call.
give them a call, send them a card.
Blow the dust off your phone.
Mo, I cannot tell you. I mean, I cannot finish this at all without asking you about your better half. Because I know that little giggle, right? I remember again working long hours. We were getting to know each other, and you looked at me. You're like, I miss my husband so much. And I remember you don't hear that every day. I don't know why. Maybe people feel it, but they don't say it. And I remember you were working and so much, and it was so early in your life. It was like early in the apocalypse, right? Like it was
Yeah.
season 4, and you guys were separated for a while because you were full on here naturally.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, this guy must be really special. And fair enough,
Fair
Alex is
enough.
like a full on bubble that is like so special. Like everywhere he goes,
I
he just
know.
lights up the world.
I
And
know. Yeah.
what's it like living with another artist, another superhuman that also expresses everything? Art is a lifestyle, certainly with that guy too.
Yeah.
And he is so good at it, and meeting two actors living that kind of vibe it has been wonderful for me to watch, because you guys are so different, but so
We are. We're so
so
different.
and that's another thing I want to talk about, is that just because you're an artist, you don't have to be like everybody else that is an artist. You can
No.
really define your own personality within the same field, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like we recognize each other's differences and we completely embrace them.
Good.
And
Nobody
we
talks
laugh
about
like,
this.
I mean, we laugh all the time. We
Yes,
do.
I know.
We we laugh so much, and it's so loving. We really love each other, and we really care for each other.
And crazy supportive too of each other's
Very
journey and
supportive. Yeah. Yeah.
process in this.
I mean, it I would say it's about compromise, but I feel like we don't even have to compromise with each other because we just sort of we let each other be, and we love each other actively, right? Just actively. And and embrace. Like, I just love like looking at this person sometimes when he doesn't know and just going, oh my God, he is fantastic.
He's fun.
Not just the physical self, which is fantastic, but to just like, God, this person, this man whose emotions are on his sleeve, as they say, like who expresses himself so willingly and
no compromise either with that.
Loyal. He's got so much heart, this booming voice. There's so many things to just absolutely love about him. And yeah, we just, boy, oh boy, we work. We are a shining example of a great marriage. I will say that with great pride.
I have to say,
second one for both of us, but we found it, and it's working beyond great.
Because sometimes as an artist, it's hard to also, deal with another ball of fire. Like some people are like, oh, I just need somebody that has their feet on the ground, or so I could just be in a bubbly stage. And you guys manage to have the best of both worlds.
You do.
Guys, which is so unbelievable to watch. I adore Alex. I think, I love so much
you guys together. Like, see, it's funny. Like, people always say to me, oh, you must be so much fun in person. You must just be cracking people up. And that's not the case.
Not at all.
I'm the quiet one.
You are very quiet.
Like, and then there's Alex. Like, I'd rather sit and watch people like you get a kick out of Alex, and I'm getting a kick out of both of you. Like, but I'm the quiet one, right? Like,
I know.
I am the quiet one. But
it's so funny.
But I do love like seeing you just see him and just,
it's so hilarious.
Him. Like, that's really fun for me, is to see people react to Alex, because he is just like so bubbly, or so,
yes,
he's a big personality. He's a big
massive
personality. Yes.
And you're right. I just realized that you were the quiet one, which is like Mo being quiet, like on set. It's just like you're like full of fire. But you're right. In your personal life, you're more like you're like a different self. And Alex,
I'm very quiet, but I mean, it makes sense. I was the shyest girl you could ever meet when I was little. And it's funny. Like,
are you serious? You were shy?
Danay, if I thought I heard my name, my ears turned purple. Like, I was just red. And it wasn't until 8th grade when somebody called me Mo and split my personality down the middle and made me sign up for improv classes, that whatever was inside was allowed to come out, because my personality got split. But it doesn't mean that Maureen doesn't still exist. This quiet, introspective. Yeah. But like, very, I say, I love watching Alex be the interesting one.
Naturally be there.
Here's something at 56 that I really, really love about myself tonight. Mm-hmm. I am super okay with being boring. I am. I'm okay with that, because especially as a comedian, all the years, like me just out in the world, there's such expectations about who I'm supposed to be as this personality out there. And I'm quiet. I'm a quiet person. Doesn't mean that there isn't this showboat personality, if you will. Yeah. But to have finally taken the pressure off of myself, to just be myself and recognize that I'm both people, but right now, I don't have to be that for you. I'm sorry if that's what you wanted and we're expecting, but that's not me right now.
I love that.
Go to YouTube, you'll find something.
Oh, you will find something. I love that.
Yeah, but I'm really, really okay with, I'm not boring. I am a multifaceted, interesting person, but me in person, I'm not what a lot of people expect. And I'm 100% okay with that.
I love that. That says so much about you and your comfort and your level of understanding who you are. And that makes you a better artist. You grew.
I grew up.
Mo, when it comes to comedy, your episode was absolutely incredible, by the way.
Thanks, Danay.
Your like Sarah episode looking for your brother to, yes. And I remember, you were exhausted with every right. We are always exhausted after those episodes. But I remember you looked at me and you're like, tonight, this is not my comfort zone. Like this depth, a constant depth of dramatic scenes after scenes for like 10 days. I'm more like, the comedy, it's my comfort zone. But I have grown so much in this unknown territory. You're not afraid to embrace this scary place that is not your comfort zone.
Right.
And that makes you like such a profound artist, an actor, obviously, because you're not afraid to walk away from the, something
Yeah.
And my question is, in your world, what is the difference between comedy and drama in most world? And in your little world, like what do you take out of those world, and how were you able to live and thrive in this and live and thrive in
Here's the thing about comedy
the
and
other
drama.
one?
It's the same dish, but it's how it's served.
Right.
It's the same. Comedy is drama at its core,
Yes.
but that's what I would say. It's the same dish. It's how it is served, and whom it's being served to, right? Determines that as well. But
Right.
so there's so much of it that's a technical adjustment. I felt, right? Literally a technical adjustment. Because if I go back into,
when you said technical, what do you mean? Like in technical,
I mean, even by like you go much smaller for camera.
Gotcha.
Right? Like there's a different intensity is more inside as opposed to external.
Got it. Yes.
So those are technical.
Absolutely. In the delivering it. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Technical. Yeah. But it's the same. It's the same. Like so much of it is the same to me. Like if I think about, even going back to Mad TV, when I played some of those characters, most of the characters, like I took them very seriously.
Oh, yes.
I wanted to make them authentic. As crazy as some of them are, they were very, very authentic to me inside. And I prided myself on tethering them to a reality. That was very important to me. And so that's no different in doing drama. That's the same. But again, it's the delivery. And there's so much around it that makes it served differently. Just the nature of the show itself. Determines how the dish is presented. And what the audience is coming to, what their expectations are. Are they coming expecting to laugh? Are they expecting to, have a serious show? It's all, but it's really same thing.
I feel like because it comes from an honest place. Like drama and comedy, it has to be honest.
Yes,
but it's how it's presented. What
it really is. Both have to be honest.
Yeah.
It all has to be honest, Yeah.
And for you, what is the one thing you absolutely love about Sarah?
Oh gosh.
Just for the fans, because you're so good at it. And I also want to tell you what I love about her. And I told you that on set. But again, there's so much you can say because we're in the middle of things.
Yeah.
And then when I tell you will remember it because you were thank you.
Yeah. Why do I love Sarah's? Okay. If there's one word, moxie. She's got moxie. Oh, yeah. Her loyalty is big. But the thing that I really came to embrace about Sarah was how much Mo is infused with Sarah. That's what I really came to love and feel protective of, is that in portraying Sarah, I'm actually revealing a lot of who I am. Mm-hmm. That's what I started to feel. And, Sarah she served my personal life so much too. Like if I'm having a bad day, I've said this to other people before, that I'll have Sarah take Mo for a walk. But
you don't take the zombies with you, right? You just right, the two of exactly. Your girls.
But it's sort of like if I choose to just walk in the Sarah-ness of myself, I feel stronger. So when Mo is feeling weak, sometimes I literally do call on my inner Sarah, and I'll when I walk down the street, I'll even take on her posture.
I love that.
And walk, and you know what? I'll feel better. I'll feel stronger. So I just love how she infused with me and help Mo discover some strengths. Mm-hmm. And I like that Mo infused some sweetness and some heart to Sarah.
It's so true. Yeah. I love, these roles in the apocalypse, they really come so raw to our lives. They just come with everything, and they just showed us the essence of who they are really quickly. And that is something that changes you as an actor right away. Like that character just transformed something very deep that you don't realize about it until like later on, that you're like, oh, I've been feeling this. It's not an accident. It's been there for a while. And then you make conscious of it. It's so true.
It's very true.
This is what I love about your performance with Sarah on Fear the Walking Dead. Do you remember, because this is the thing, we get the scripts, and every time we're like in a scene together, I see what Sarah says. And I'm like, how is Mo gonna deliver this? Like, it's like she has a way to speak that it's very, she says a lot, but she says it in a way that English is my second language. I don't understand it right away. Like, it's like, what intention is she gonna give to this? And then all of a sudden on set, Mo comes up, we run the lines, and you give not just meaning, but, and I remember I'm like, you say things that I don't understand on the page, and you say so quick, and the rhythm and the intention, it's so fast that I'm like, oh, that's what it was written, and I couldn't see it, and that says a lot about your skills as an actor.
Thanks.
Sarah sometimes throws jokes out there, like you say things that is like, what the hell, and it's like comes out funny, and then you look at me like, right, and I'm like, oh, yes, like, oh, it's all of a sudden we're like in this awkward moment that Sarah just like say the wrong thing or the right thing at the wrong time, and those nuances of the role of the character, it's really created by you, Mo. Yes, you do have a beautiful role character that it's profound and he has a mission, but the way you deliver it in this very dramatic moment, the things you say, how you say it, it's really made me appreciate you as an actor so much, because I know what you're about to say. However, I don't know how you're going to deliver it. and we all respond to this Sarah punch at the end of the scene, and it's like, what, did she just say that? But then you carry on, you're like, oh, I'm very serious, let's go. It's like,
I mean, those lines, they have to really they have to be fluid, because they have to have a fluidity to them. And so sometimes, what you maybe, because you saw it in the script and then you heard how I said it, you probably saw how I put words together to make them one word. Like I had to make it fluid because she just didn't talk the way it was on the page all the time.
Yes.
So I would have to Sarah it up, to make it. And not only that, but literally the way Sarah's mouth goes around words is different the way I do. I'm a
absolutely.
Big mouth. I'm a big mouth talker. Everything is like right here. She barely opens her mouth. So it's like words just kind of have to come together. It's a whole different. Yeah, it's a whole different linguistics for me. So there were some times I would even have to say, like, I can't, I'm going to have to change this word or line. I can't get it out of my mouth.
Can physically say it.
Danay, do you know what happened in 704? Speaking of lines that I couldn't say, do you want to know?
Yes.
Do you want to know? Like, I don't bungle my takes too often, but guess what I bungled?
What?
Multiple times. Couldn't say this line. You want to know? You ready? You want to know what the line
I am ready.
Sarah Rabinowitz. All I had to do was say my name. It took about 5 takes. I couldn't do it. In fact, here's how it came around, because I cannot
believe this.
And I knew when I was rehearsing on my own, I was like, I'm going to have to put a break in between. It's the only way it works with Sarah's mouth. So when the first take, I go, Sarah Rabinowitz. Like, I put the space, and Tara's like, we got to take that out. I'm like, okay. Sarah Rabinowitz. I couldn't do it. I couldn't say my name.
And oh my gosh, Mo, you have made work so much in the show. Like, your name is the one that you guys stuck.
My name I couldn't do. I'm like, Sarah Rabinowitz. Like, I needed that break. And I thought, that's good. It kind of has like a little wink in between, right? Like, Sarah Rabinowitz. Nope, gotta clean that up. Sarah Rabinowitz. Sir, it's a tough one for my mouth. Sarah Rabinowitz. Sarah Rabinowitz. Couldn't do it.
Your name.
I know.
That's hilarious.
I think like something that Sarah has said multiple times in her life, and I couldn't say it.
No. I guess, in the apocalypse, we don't introduce ourselves anymore. We usually introduce ourselves like with a war, or like, hi, my name is Sarah.
I'm going to make that my excuse tonight, that I just don't have to say my full name too often.
No, you don't.
Here we go. Sarah Rabinowitz.
Yeah.
Rabinowitz. But even do it with like half a mouth. Try saying Sarah Rabinowitz with half a mouth. Sarah Rabinowitz.
Sarah Rabinowitz. I can't. I mean, I'm just really glad I don't have to do that.
I want everybody at home to do it. Say Sarah. Look at that. Say Sarah Rabinowitz 3 times in a row with your mouth not kind of closed and not moved. Sarah Rabinowitz.
Yeah.
Sarah
Rabinowitz. That's hard. That's really hard.
Yeah.
I love that. But you see, your commitment and it's just hard, and it's fun, and it just gets you out of your space. Things change. We live in a different reality when we're like in this, struggle with roles and the universe and all that. And Mo, this has been what a lesson this entire conversation has been. And
it's so nice just to see your beautiful face, Danay. I love you.
I love you too. I can't wait to see you soon.
I know. It's just so good to see you.
Yes. I'm going to be looking at my little And I love how you make me like my these are like my grandma's Asian eyes. You just put them out, just like
it's fine. They did come out looking that way, didn't they?
I love them. I love them so much. My great grandma is Chinese.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
How did I not know that?
You didn't know? Really?
No, I didn't. Well, maybe that's intentional then.
That's why I thought you knew. That's why.
No, I did not know that, Danay. But you know what? I think that makes it even better, because then that must have been something coming through. Maybe it was your grandmother coming through my paintbrush, going, "Don't forget where you came from, Danay."
Yes, I thought you knew, and I loved it.
I did not know that.
But you see, that's the art. That's your subconscious. That's how you see me. And
well, that's interesting. Yeah, it's like I was working off a picture of you that you had the gorgeous eyeliner on, and you just looked so regal in it. So I sort of used that as just the kind of But that's interesting.
My great grandmother is Chinese. Yes. She moved to Cuba. Now you know. It's perfect. It's so perfect. Yes. Look at that. You didn't. I love. You see, that's what art does. It surprises you.
Yes.
It does. Your own stuff. It surprises you.
I know. That's a wonderful surprise. Oh, I love that.
Mo, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. I just wanted to say thank you so much for throwing so many seeds of wisdom, love, light, empathy, what works for you, what got you out of tough times, what could get everyone out of like our heads during this weird time. I just love shining that out. I feel like,
Danay, you are a beacon of light in the world. You really, you talk about superpower. It's truly, that is your superpower. Like, you are a beacon. Your head is just spinning in every direction. You're going, love, 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 love. Joy, 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 joy. Like,
it feels good, but it feels good. It feels good every second.
Well, it's working. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It feels good. Yeah. Nobody ever said, oh, I don't want love. Everybody's like, oh, that feels good. Give me. Give it. Yeah. And I feel like, love is it's a feeling that we all recognize. We all love somebody or, a pet, like, we understand what that is. We love a place. We love a city, we understand what that is. And just being reminded of it every day, it's like I said, a lifestyle that I
admire you so much. I just have to let you know, you're one of the most multifaceted, smart, intelligent, joyful, interesting women I think I'll ever meet.
Oh, you are.
I mean that. I mean that.
Thank you.
And I was a fan before I got on the show, but then to like get to know how many things you are. Right? You are so many things. And I don't even think people know that about you. You're so many things.
Thank you. Thank you, Mo. And thank you for this hour. It flew
by.
This is what happens. It just goes so quick. But we kind of cover so much, though.
I know. It's so good. Thank you for enlightening my day and making it joyful. I appreciate you so much. I just love you to death. I love you.
I love you and adore you too. And I cannot wait to see you.
Okay. Same, my friend.
Yes. Sending you big kisses to you. Big and kisses. I will see you so soon.
See you soon. I love you.
Bye.